reading your book, and some of the comments of other people and their reactions to it doesn't seem like a business book. It doesn't seem like a self-help book, but it does kind of seem like a charting a path book. If you want to kind of like at least question your own kind of default ways and kind of reflect on that and figure things out, you can do some things. Like you can pause and disconnect, go make a friend, go make something, give generously, experiment. And then if you commit to that and be patient, you can kind of figure things out and be more on a pathless path, or your own path, if you will, rather than something that's default by culture, history, happenstance, etc.
Yeah. So I think like my approach works incredibly well. Um, is it going to make you rich? I have no idea. I can't promise that. So like that's a big barrier for people. I think they want like steady and certain income increases. That seems so bizarre if you look through the history of the world. Um, but yeah, I think I kind of wrote it as like a choose your own adventure and be
Mm,
inspired by my journey. Cause I've been inspired by books like that, like Vagabonding and 4 Hour Work Week. I don't connect with everything they say, but it was like, yes,
totally.
these 7 ideas are so powerful for me. So I kind of wrote it like that. I wrote it for nerdy people too. I dropped all sorts of like references and nuggets in there that like
Right.
I'm not going to fully tell you what it's about. And if you want to dive deeper, you can go explore on your own. Um, and yeah, I shared the personal journey because that's what I realized I had to do early on in the book writing process. Like I had to give it my full heart and honestly say why I think it matters, these things. And I think I put it out there. I feel like I dumped it on the pages. So
No,
it's
it
cool.
feels like it. I mean, honestly, and it's like so refreshing and honest and vulnerable, if you will, at least at some point. Open is definitely there. But then it's also not, you're not trying to be this like literary giant either, like waxing poetically about things. Like I think you start the first sentence, it's like, this is that or something, it's just very, very readable and open. And I commend you on that, because it could come across as preachy or do this and you will gain $1 million or whatever, and it's not, definitely not that.
Yeah, I'm not a fancy person. I'm not the most sophisticated writer. I didn't go to like the fancy schools growing up. So like I have a very
Right.
simple vocabulary. And I like to write and make things simple. I think a lot of writing on like taking different paths is overly complicated or focused on like tools. It's like, nah, there's probably some pretty simple stuff you can do. It's like ask yourself hard questions, answer them, experiment, figure things out, fumble along the way, and see where you end up. Right? I think,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's cool to see it connecting with people. I think I was scared for years to say that I think this matters.
Mm.
And in writing the book, I finally, like in the introduction, I think if anyone reads the introduction, they'll see that, like, why this matters to me and, like, why I think it's so important that people just question these paths. I want people to thrive, and I think it's more possible than ever. And I think that's important. And I'm not as scared to admit that anymore.